Good morning. Happy Tuesday, everyone. So I was a little bit apprehensive when I started this YouTube channel, but initially I was just sharing it with my own families from my classroom, and I figured these kids see me every day, so I wasn't very uncomfortable with it. Then I just noticed that I was having a lot of friends and things who were reaching out asking for ideas, and I figured, hey, if these videos are already out there, then why don't I just make myself a little more uncomfortable and offer them a little bit more publicly to other people as well. So a lot of the activities that I have for this week actually can be modified for students that are a little bit younger and some students that are a little bit older as well. Obviously, my daughters are only 2 and 4, so some of the activities my 4-year-old has been really interested in, but she's not really to the point of multiplying and things yet. So I've been modifying them so that she can feel included, like she's doing them as well, and she's working on some skills. So this video is going to have some really neat math things that you can do with a household item that maybe you wouldn't think of. I know a lot of the primary grades use egg cartons for 10 frames. This is just an egg carton that I had, and I kind of threw it in the closet and said I'll find something to do with it. My husband thinks I'm going crazy, that I'm saving all the garbage now to make into things, but I just took the egg carton and I labeled inside 1 through 12. I didn't put them in order. I just put them in a random order and just wrote 1 through 12 in each of them. So I have done this in the past for multiplication facts in my 4th grade classroom, and you could just put any objects in there. In school, I used to use marbles, and that worked really well. I don't have marbles at home right now because they're in my classroom with most of my other things. So yesterday when I was doing it with Kaya, I was using balls from her Hungry Hungry Hippos game, and that was working well. And then later when those were being thrown all over the place, we actually resorted to chocolate chips because they were easy and they were small. So you could do this at a very primary level with just identifying numbers. My 4-year-old is still working on identifying numbers consistently. So you just put the 2 chocolate chips or whatever items you have in there. You close it up tight. You shake it up. You open it up. And this one, they both landed on number 1. So they would just be able to say number 1. They landed on number 1. If it was on number 1 and number 3, they could say number 1 and number 3. So that's a really, really basic activity. You could do it with your youngest learners, just identifying numbers, a little bit fun. Okay, you could also do addition or subtraction with them as well. Okay, if you're just doing 2, you're just doing addition and subtraction facts. Okay, shake it up, I open it up, and I got a 10 and a 9. So I could do 10 plus 9 is 19. I could also do 10 minus 9 is 1. Okay, you could add more chocolate chips to make longer addition and subtraction problems. So if I wanted to add, 2-digit and 2-digit, okay, I can put 4 of them in there. And I have, also you got to keep in mind that there are some 2-digit numbers in here because obviously 10, 11, and 12 are 2-digit. So it might end up being longer ones, or you could reshake. You could decide what you wanted to do with that. Okay, so I ended up with an 11. So maybe I want to do 3-digit by 2-digit. I could do 119 because I have an 11 and a 9, and I have a 5 and a 3. You can really put them in any order too. You could see how many different problems you could make with just one shake. So I could do 911. I could do 35. I could do 53. I could do 59. Okay, so you can make different numbers by whatever they land on, and you could use those numbers to add, you could use those numbers to subtract, you could use those numbers to say, let's see how many different numbers we could make with those digits. There's a lot of different things you could do. Okay, the multiplication facts, like I said, how I had used it was the initial way, just 2 chocolate chips or 2 items, shake it up, and multiply those 2 numbers. You could also do it as a team game between 2 people. Okay, kids a lot of times love games and competition. That's why I had this in the first place. I have whole boxes of games because they love competition. Okay, so you can put 2 of them in there, shake it up, open it up, and there's 3 and 9. So 3 times 9 is 27. And you could do a competition, whoever, did it the fastest gets a point. And again, you could do that with addition. You could do that with subtraction. Keep a little running tally. Who says it quicker? And get a point. Okay, you can also do 2-digit multiplication by 2-digit, multi-digit multiplication, all you need to do really is just add more items into the egg carton and just shake them up, and you can really make the rules yourself, but it takes it off of just being your, you know, generic writing problems down on a piece of paper. It's a little bit more fun to shake this up and see what they land on. Okay, so that's something you could do. You could also use it with division too. You could have 1 or 2 digits on the outside as the divisor, and then more digits on the inside as the dividend. So really, the possibilities are endless with this, and all it takes is an egg carton and any items you can find in the house that will freely move between the cups. Okay, so that's a game you can play with pretty much any age, honestly, because even some of your older students, I mean, they're still going to need to work on some multiplication and division. Those are life skills. So hopefully this is something that, you know, you could do for fun, and it's practicing math at the same time. Okay, another quick one that I did last night that I've done before is this one where you're just making math facts. This one's multiplication. Again, you can do this with addition too. If you have younger students, do it with addition. And it gives you a little bit of an art break, you know, so that they could color it in. So the first thing I did was I skip counted on the top of the page by 7s. So this one was obviously just the 7s. So I skip counted on the top so that I kind of did my math first and didn't, you know, make a mistake and put a number and marker in my flower that was incorrect. So skip counting by 7s all the way up to 7 times 12, and then pick a number for the middle. So like 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 10 is 70, and obviously you're doing the math at the beginning by skip counting and then filling them in here to make sure that they're correct. And then it gives you a little bit of a, you know, mental break and a little bit of an art break to be able to color it in. But you could make them for multiple numbers. You know, if there's those 6s, 7s, 8s, and 9s are a lot of time what gets a lot of the students, they don't have them down, and it would be a good way for them to, you know, maybe make one a day or make one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and it splits it up a little bit so that it's not just an hour of sitting there doing math. They can color it and then move on to another one. Maybe make one a day, and they can put them up somewhere and practice them so when they're playing some of their other math games, they're more fresh in their mind. So hopefully you found some use in some of these and you can put them to use. Again, if you do any of the activities or make any of these, send me a private message. I would love to see what the kids are doing. It's a really weird time right now when you're used to teaching every day, and then you're just teaching random lessons in your bedroom with your kids' easel as they're yelling downstairs that you're using their easel. So I would love to see some of the awesomeness coming out of some of these older students and the fun that they're having with these activities. Okay, I'm also going to be sharing a book that's for all ages today as well. Thanks.